Welcome to MyStatenIslandLife.com. I'm Tati Amare, and I'm here with independent filmmaker Mr. Lance Rea. How are you?
How you doing? Nice to be here.
Good to have you. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Independent filmmaker is such a big blanket.
Yes, it is. Well, I'm born and raised Staten Islander my whole life, and I've been making films since I'm about 13 years old.
Wow, 13?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how old I am now.
Okay.
But it's a long time I'm making them, and the indie life is tough, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun putting a project together and getting everyone involved. Especially that's what we're all trying to do, get people on Staten Island. Being it's so small, we're trying to form a filmmaking community to show people that we do exist. But yeah, I've been doing it a long time, and basically self-taught.
Okay, so what's the best part of the process for you?
Probably production. I like, even though it's a lot of work getting out there and shooting, when you don't have a huge crew behind you and you don't have money and you don't have people running errands for you all day and everything, probably just the whole feeling of getting everyone together and seeing a project come together and everyone's doing their thing and working. And because I actually get depressed after I'm done shooting. I get a little like, you know, it's like, that's it, no more shooting?
Right.
Even though I still have a lot of editing ahead of me, editing and scoring and getting
post-production stuff,
yeah.
Right.
But that I do basically by myself. Production, everyone's involved.
Okay, do you write as well?
I used to, but I have a writer now.
You have a writer
now? Yeah, I use
now.
a writer. Actually, Chris Mancuso, who's another Staten Island filmmaker, writer. So.
Mm-hmm. So when you have someone write for you, how does that process go? You give them a concept, an idea, and they build around it?
Well, actually, yes. On the current 2 films I'm finishing up on, I gave Chris the idea of what I wanted to do, and he took it from there and he ran with it. Okay. And it's good because you'll meet with people and you'll know right away if they're on the same wavelength, like the type of ideas that they have, and he was right there with exactly what I wanted to do. But sometimes he'll come to me and say, listen, I got a script, you want to read it? And we work it from there. Okay,
so what has been your most memorable experience as an independent filmmaker?
Well, there's a lot of them. Well, like I was saying before we started rolling, every shoot, especially if we're shooting outdoors, we usually have a police car pull up or somebody pull up and say, what are you doing? And I mean, the movie I'm working on now, we were out on South Avenue, and we actually had somebody laying in the street with all blood around them, with the cars pulled over, and cop came by, looked, and I was like, hey, how you doing? And he looked, and he's like, and he left.
Really?
I was very surprised. Usually they want to know what's going on. We did a guerrilla shoot on one of the train platforms here, which are nuts. And again, body with a sheet with police tape around it.
Wow.
Now there's people coming in every few minutes on that train, so what we had to do was in between the train coming in, we had to pack up and go up top. Wow. Because imagine pulling up on a platform and seeing a body under a sheet with police tape, and I had guys walking around with police jackets and stuff. So things like that, and we run into a lot of things that are memorable.
Yeah, the NYPD keeps the independent film network here in New York very interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, they do. They do.
So tell us about the project you're working on right now.
Well, I did one called Dark Reflection. It's about a clown, an insane clown. And then I did one called Night Watch. I'm actually editing that now. I'm going to have it scored. And that's a real suspense thriller. And what had happened was, I was only going to do 2. And I had said to Chris I have 2 movies, it's 60 minutes combined. Let's do a 3rd, we'll do a trilogy, and I'll have a feature film to show, which is much more marketable, and it says a lot more about you as a filmmaker. You could hand somebody a feature film.
Right.
So he's currently finishing up the writing on the 3rd one, which is really good, and it will tie in the other 2. Yeah, and for those who don't know, a trilogy is like the movie Creep Show, so it's like a bunch of little stories in one.
In one bigger story. So when do you expect to be done with that? When are you guys wrapping up with that?
I'd say sometime in the spring we'll be ready to show everybody, yeah.
Okay.
We usually have a big premiere in one of the hotels, and it's a pretty big night.
All right, very exciting. Thank you, Mr. Lance Rea.
Thank you. Thank you.